Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. You like the coat?
Yeah.
Does this work good for you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I have a red one too. Okay, so wanted to start out by thanking you all for being part of the USANA family, and I want to relate back just a family story. Is that this summer, or just in October, my wife and I went to Alaska to help our Alaska family, and we went up there and we were staying with one of our associates in an apartment that she had set aside. It was really nice. And then 2 nights into being there, we were off down to Kenai to meet with some prospects, and we stayed down there. A couple of engineers, 3 engineers talking. We ended up talking real late. Ended up being a really good story because we come back to Anchorage and it was real late. But we get the wife to bed and so forth, so I'm cleaning up in the bathroom and I'm sitting there and oh my gosh, that smells like smoke. So I get up, go around, look at the apartment, and I'm looking and I don't see anything. And I look back into the bathroom where I was, and the smoke is just pouring in through the exhaust fan. Just absolutely pouring through the exhaust fan. And so I mentally said, all right, 911, right? Get the wife up, get stuff out of the apartment, get the rest of the people in the apartment complex out. And we were successful able to do that and get everybody. The police were there in 5, the fire department was there in 7, right? And then we go through the whole rigmarole. But at the end of the day, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and we're sitting there homeless. And one of our associates says, come over. 5 o'clock in the morning, he says, come over, stay with us. We'll put you up in the spare room and so forth. And then all of that tied together, another family members come in and say, we got another place for you. We can put you up in our apartment. And then everything continued on. It was fantastic. Now, I tell you that story is because of the fact that if it weren't for the fact that our friends kept us in Kenai with the new prospect, which ended up being a PC, is that we wouldn't be here today because we wouldn't be awake when the fire came into the room, and it was really, really bad smoke. So, family being what it is, so thank you for being the family. And also want to thank Jared and Crystal for hosting this, putting everything together and so forth. I want to thank David and Gwen for inviting us. David has been following Jared for many years, and we've learned quite a lot in the process. David and Gwen are also part of the Alaska family. And I wanted to thank my dear wife, Jishi, and Mila. Jishi introduced me to USANA in 2016, right? And Mila's on her Ruby run. And so we keep it in the family. In 2017, I joined USANA for a number of reasons, but in 2020, I changed my leg because all the personal family members were in the other leg. So I knew that if I transitioned from this leg over to there, everything that I did would raise up the family. And so that's what I did. I took my 6 months off, and then I came in underneath, and then we've been able to raise up the family. We actually did retire Jishi's sister in China because of that. I want to shout out really important to the fact I want to thank the scientists of USANA. Without them, we wouldn't have the products, and we wouldn't be here because we wouldn't be proposing the sale of those products because they wouldn't be the best on the market. And being part of the best is really important when you're in a multi-level marketing system, and you've got to be selling the best because otherwise there's no reason for them to buy because they can get something better someplace else. All right, so it's exceedingly important. And then of course to Dr. Wentz, and why were we here to build the healthiest family on earth? Because too many people, too many people die too long and live too short. I was one of them. In 2016, I weighed 230 pounds. I wore bifocals. I had special glasses for every day, those bifocals. I had special glasses for my computer working. I had special glasses for driving at night. I had special glasses for my fishing, being in Alaska, you know how important that is. And I was on 10 different medications. Some of them helped, some of them fought each other, as you probably have seen before, right? And I'm going to caution you all is that nothing that I say is going to indicate that USANA fixes, cures, prevents, or does anything important. But you all have stories, so you know that what I'm going to tell you is true, because it's my story. Different medications, obese, depressed, sleep apnea, fibromyalgia, with myofascial pain with the trigger points, degenerative disc disease. I had already had cervical surgery because I had a disc implode into the interior, which cut off my spinal cord. I had that surgery, but when they were in there, they found bunches of arthritis. I'd spent 29 years in the military and I had to get out of the military because of the fact that I was no longer worldwide qualified. It meant that the United States government could not take care of me overseas. So I got out and I continued to suffer. But what a suffering senior military officer do is it becomes a CEO or becomes a chairman of the board, does other things, right? I did a lot of things. But in 2015, I had a divorce and a heart attack. And my cardiologist, he told me, forks before knives, Dave. Forks before knives. Huh? And he says, you learn to eat better or I'm going to have to cut on you. So sure enough, you know, he and I were good friends. We were talking back and forth. But I went out and I did everything. I went and got supplements from everywhere. You know, you did the GNC thing, got the gold card, went to Walgreens and CVS, went to Amazon, okay? And every Sunday morning I'm putting pills in my bottle, watching football games for the next week. I had boxes and boxes of these things, right? I knew pretty much what I needed to have. And I was taking it all, but I wasn't feeling any better. Then comes along this lady here, she says, we started dating, she tells me about what she does, and she had the USANA. But what she also had was the comparative guide to nutritional supplements, okay? Important book. If you don't have a copy, they're hard to come by now. But I will tell you right now that I'm on the trial of the new app. Okay, so we're bringing out an app with NutriSearch, and it'll be available pretty soon, possibly in the late winter, depending upon how this trial goes, and it'll be continuously updated. Okay, so it'll work out. It'll be available to you for your phone use. Then, anyway. I read the book, I read the bibliography, I studied the science, and then I said, okay, I'll be a PC. I got a health pack. First health pack, 3 weeks, no more Prilosec. I've been on acid reflux medication for 20 years. God sent to me. No more, no more pain, but I was destroying my stomach. But 20 years of Prilosec as a prescription drug, and I didn't need it anymore. Then the next thing that's going on is I'm out in the Pacific working at Wake Island, and I tear my bicipital tendon in my left arm. This arm right here. The bicipital tendon goes from here to here and makes your arm do this. Okay? I tore it right off the forearm. My doctor, who I worked for me, he says, Dave, we got to get you off island. So 2 days later, we were able to flag down a Navy aircraft, got back up to Elmendorf, saw my doctor there. He says, take an x-ray, takes the x-ray. He comes back looking at this x-ray, he goes, let's go get an MRI. You know you're in trouble. I'm sorry, I'm taking some more. But nevertheless, the question was, are you going to have the surgery? And I'm thinking, no, I'm going to let it go. He says, okay, well, you plan on losing 80% of your, or 60 to 80% of your muscle strength and so forth. 8 months later, I'm moving my entire household by myself, lifting it and packing it, putting it in my truck, driving it up to the mountain house, taking it out and offloading it. In that same 8 months period, I lost 60 pounds. Energy level was up, right? And one by one, my medications fell away. Just fell away. When the eyesight started getting better, that's when I took my credit card out and I flew myself down to Salt Lake City and I met with the scientists. And I said, what the heck is going on? I tell you, I made good relationships there. I've been friends with those boys down there for a long time now. And if you're not personally grateful, I am. At the time we met, there were 2 Vision X products. There was Vision X and Vision X DX. And there was a slight difference between the 2 products. And we were able to identify it, and then it went to one product. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, coming back, we were able to, in that first 8 months, was to just improve everything. In the 8 years since then, I've had CDL twice, no lenses. And just going to Florida, got my new license down there, and no lenses in these eyes. Amazing stuff, right? We don't cure, fix, or do anything, but when you hear a story like that, it's just real powerful, and being able to see how. So in my life has transitioned and been improved, and I love to tell it, to be able to encourage folks. So I'd like to encourage you to do some things. That being said, when you're on a mission, you need great nutrition. And nutrition we get from these. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dude. Amazing stories. I'll tell you, there's other stories that he shared.
And cry. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.